Hello students, let us continue chapter 13 Motion and Time. In the previous class we discussed about speed. Let us now discuss the next topic, measurement of time. If you did not have a clock, how would you decide what time of the day it is? Have you ever wondered how our elders could tell the approximate time of the day by just looking at shadows? How do we measure time interval of a month, a year? Here we are asked many questions like how can we tell the time if we do not have a clock, and how did our elders tell approximate time by looking at shadows, and how to measure time interval of a month or a year. Let us read further to find the answers to these questions. Our ancestors noticed that many events in nature repeat themselves after definite intervals of time. For example, they found that the sun rises every day in the morning. The time between one sunrise and the next was called a day. Similarly, a month was measured from one new moon to the next. A year was fixed as the time taken by the earth to complete one revolution of the sun. There are many events in nature that repeat after a time interval, and this was noticed by our ancestors. In the morning happens the rising of sun. So what is a day? It is the time between one sunrise and the next, which was called a day. A month is the time between two new moons. And a year is the time the earth takes to complete its one revolution around the sun. We often need to measure intervals of time which are much shorter than a day. Clocks or watches are perhaps the most common time measuring devices. Have you ever wondered how clocks and watches measure time? The working of clocks is rather complex, but all of them make use of the same periodic motion. One of the most well-known periodic motions is that of a simple pendulum. Time measuring devices or clocks use the concept of periodic motion to measure time. It means that it uses motion that repeats itself after equal amounts of time, just like we can observe in nature. There are different types of time measuring devices. The working of clocks is complex, but they use periodic motion to measure time. As discussed before, the motion of a simple pendulum is periodic motion. A simple pendulum consists of a small metallic ball or a piece of stone suspended from a rigid stand by a thread. The metallic ball is called the bob of the pendulum. Figure 13.4a shows the pendulum at rest in its mean position. When the bob of the pendulum is released after taking it slightly to one side, it begins to move to and fro. The to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is an example of a periodic or an oscillatory motion. Here in figure 13.4, we are given a simple pendulum. It contains a bob. It is a metallic ball or a stone which is suspended from a rigid stand with the help of a thread. Suspended means it is hung, yani hang karna, latkana. Rigid means not flexible. Here in the case of pendulum, it means fixed. यानी कि ये जो फिक्स्ड स्टैंड है उसमें से एक थ्रेड की मदद से जो बॉब हम लोग सस्पेंड कर रहे हैं, जो हंग कर रहे हैं, दिस फॉर्म्स द सिंपल पेंडुलम. In the first figure, the pendulum is at rest, that is in its original position, when it is not touched. When we take the pendulum to one side and when we release it, it begins to move to and fro, that is back and forth motion as it is shown here in figure B. The to and fro motion of the pendulum is called as oscillatory motion, or we also call it periodic motion. The bob of the pendulum does move from the center, that is mean position of the pendulum, to its extreme position on the other side. Here the extreme positions are named as A and B, and point O is the mean position, that is the initial position or the center of the pendulum. The pendulum is said to have completed one oscillation when its bob, starting from its mean position O, moves to A, to B and back to O. The pendulum also completes one oscillation when its bob moves from one extreme position A to the other extreme position B and comes back to A. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. What is oscillation? When the bob moves from its center, that is the mean position, to its extreme ends, it is said to complete one oscillation. And here we are also given about the time period of a pendulum. The time period of a pendulum is the time taken by the pendulum's bob to complete one oscillation. That is, it is the time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation. Here we are given the definition of time period. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. It also completes one oscillation when its bob moves from one extreme position A to the other extreme position B and then comes back to A. So, the time taken by the pendulum to complete this one oscillation is called its time period. Activity 3.2. Set up a simple pendulum as shown in figure 13.4a with a thread or a string of length nearly 1 meter. Switch off any fans nearby. Let the bob of the pendulum come to rest at its mean position. Mark the mean position of the bob on the floor below it or on the wall behind it. To measure the time period of the pendulum, we will need a stopwatch. However, if a stopwatch is not available, a table clock or a wristwatch can be used. To set the pendulum in motion, gently hold the bob and move it slightly to one side. Make sure that the string is attached to the bob is taut while you displace it. Now, release the bob from its displaced position. Remember that the bob is not to be pushed when it is released. Note the time on the clock when the bob is at its mean position. Instead of the mean position, you may note the time when the bob is at one of its extreme positions. Measure the time the pendulum takes to complete 20 oscillations. Record your observations in table 13.2. The first observation shown is just a sample. Your observation could be different from this. Repeat this activity a few times and record your observations. By dividing the time taken for 20 oscillations by 20, get the time taken for one oscillation or the time period of the pendulum. Is the time period of your pendulum nearly the same in all cases? Note that a slight change in the initial displacement does not affect the time period of your pendulum. For performing this activity, first of all, we need to set up a simple pendulum as it is shown in figure 13.4a. You will need a string of length 1 meter and a metal ball or a piece of stone that you must tie to one end of the string to make a simple pendulum. Let the bob of the pendulum be steady at its original position. This original position is called its mean position. Mark the mean position of the bob on the floor. Hold the bob and move it slightly from one side, that is position A, to give motion to the pendulum. Next, release the bob. When the bob is on its extreme position A, on one side of the mean position, start the stopwatch. When the pendulum again comes to extreme position A, it is considered as one complete oscillation. Keep counting till the number of oscillations is equal to 20 and stop the stopwatch, and note down the time taken by the pendulum to complete 20 oscillations. Repeat this activity 2 more times and note down the observation for every time in table 13.2. After that, to find out the time period, divide the time interval you get by 20 for each observation. If there is a slight change in the initial displacement, then that does not affect the time period of the pendulum. Here we are given one example. Similarly, we need to find 2 more time taken for 20 oscillations, और जब हम time taken को divide करेंगे 20 से, then we will get the time period. In the first case, the time period of the pendulum is 21 seconds. Nowadays, most clocks or watches have an electric circuit with one or more cells. These clocks are called quartz clocks. The time measured by quartz clocks is much more accurate than that by the clocks available earlier. The clocks or watches that are available nowadays, in that we can find they have electric circuit that works with the help of cells. Such clocks are called quartz clocks. In comparison to the clocks that were available earlier, quartz clock measures time more accurately, more correctly. Units of time and speed. The basic unit of time is a second. Its symbol is S. Larger units of time are minutes, MIN, and hours, H. You already know how these units are related to one another. What would be the basic unit of speed? Since the speed is distance upon time, the basic unit of speed is meter per second. Of course, it could also be expressed in other units such as meter per minute or kilometer per hour. So in this paragraph, we read about units of time and speed. What is the basic unit of time? Here we can see the basic unit of time is a second. उसके अलावा जो larger units है, they are minutes and hours. And we know that when to use which unit. Next we are asked what about the basic unit of speed. अब हम ये जानते हैं कि speed जो है वो distance upon time है. Distance can be measured in meters or kilometers, and similarly time can be measured in seconds, minutes or hours. So the basic unit of speed is meter per second, but it also can be expressed as meter per minute or kilometer per hour. So these are the units of speed and time. You must remember that the symbols of all units are written in singular. For example, we write 50 km and not 50 kms, or 8 cm and not 8 cms. So here we are just given information regarding how can we write symbol. यानी कि even though it is said 50 kilometers, we don't write it as 50 kms. We just write it as 50 kilometer. Similarly, it is not 8 cms. It is just 8 cm. That is 8 centimeter. Buju is wondering how many seconds there are in a day and how many hours in a year. Can you help him? So सबसे पहले Buju is thinking that how many seconds are there in a day. Now we know that in one day there are 24 hours. 1 hour में 60 minutes होते हैं और 1 minute में 60 seconds होते हैं. तो इस हिसाब से 1 hour में we will have 3600 seconds. So this is for 1 hour, but we are asked for a day. So for that, one day consists of 24 hours. So we will simply multiply 3600 with 24. Then we will get the number of seconds in one day, which is equal to 86,400. So there are 86,400 seconds in one day. Next, we are asked how many hours are there in a year. Now, in one day we have 24 hours. वन डे में 24 hours है और पूरे साल में हमारे पास है 365 days. So for finding the number of hours in a year, we will multiply 365 with 24, क्योंकि this is the number of hours in one day. वन डे में अगर 24 है तो 365 days में कितने होंगे? 365 multiplied by 24, which is equal to 8760 hours. So 8760 hours are there in a year. There is an interesting story about the discovery that the time period of a given pendulum is constant. You might have heard the name of famous scientist Galileo Galilei, AD 1564 to 1642. It is said that once Galileo was sitting in a church. He noticed that a lamp suspended from the ceiling with a chain was moving slowly from one side to the other. He was surprised to find that his pulse beat the same number of times during the interval in which the lamp completed one oscillation. Galileo experimented with various pendulums to verify his observation. He found that a pendulum of a given length takes always the same time to complete one oscillation. This observation led to development of pendulum clocks. Winding clocks and wristwatches were refinements of the pendulum clocks. So in this paragraph, we are given a story about the discovery of time period given by a pendulum. We know that time period given by a pendulum is constant. This was discovered by famous scientist Galileo Galilei. He was sitting in a church and he noticed that there was a lamp which was suspended, that means hung from the ceiling with a chain. It was moving from one side to the other. He noticed that his pulse beat the same number of times at that time in which the lamp completed one oscillation. He further experimented with different pendulums so that he could verify what he just observed. A pendulum having a fixed length takes the same time to complete one oscillation. Because of this observation, pendulum clocks were developed. Further refinements, that is, improvements of pendulum clocks, include winding clocks and wrist watches. Different units of time are used depending on the need. For example, it is convenient to express your age in years rather than in days or hours. Similarly, it will not be wise to express in years the time taken by you to cover the distance between your home and your school. So, depending on your need of the situation, different units of time are used. If you were asked your age, then you would express it in years rather than in days or hours. In the same way, the time taken by you to cover the distance between your home and your school should be expressed in hours or minutes rather than years. So, based on the situation, we change the units of time used. How small or large is a time interval of 1 second? The time taken in saying aloud 2001 is nearby 1 second. Verify it by counting aloud from 2001 to 2010. the pulse of a normal healthy adult at rest beats about 72 times in a minute, that is about 12 times in 10 seconds. This rate may be slightly higher for children. Here we are told that it takes 1 second for us to say 2001 aloud. यानी कि अगर हम 2001 बोलेंगे तो हमें करीब करीब 1 सेकेंड लगेंगे ये बोलने में. For verifying this, you can count from 2001 to 2010. I counted and found out that I took almost 11 seconds to count till 2010. In a minute, the pulse of a healthy adult at rest is 72 beats. So, in 10 seconds, the pulse beat is about 12 times. For children, this rate may be slightly higher. Many time measuring devices were used in different places of the world before the pendulum clocks became popular. Sundials, water clocks, and sand clocks are some examples of such devices. Different designs of these devices were developed in different parts of the world as shown in figure 13.5. Now, before pendulum clocks were available, other time measuring devices were used in different parts of the world. These include sundials, sand clocks, and water clocks as shown in figure 13.5. These are some ancient time measuring devices. The sundial uses the position of the sun to show time. The sand clock uses sand for measuring time. Similarly, the water clock uses water to measure time.